Hi, you're listening to Sam and Em Solve the World's Problems.
We have a lot of problems.
Emily, please!
Today we have a really raw and honest chat for you.
Yeah, it's just me and Em today, so we get a bit unfiltered about what it's like starting a podcast and the fear of oversharing on the internet.
Yeah, we also touch on the toxicity of social media, why you should see a psychologist, and mental health as a whole.
Yeah, we get pretty personal in this one, and it's the first one, I don't know, I've been kind of nervous about releasing.
Yeah, but we hope you enjoy it.
Hey guys, in this episode we start to touch on some kind of mental health issues.
Yeah, so we just wanted to add here before we start, we are not experts. We don't have any sort of qualifications. We're just talking about our own personal experiences with mental health. So definitely seek help if you need any. We're going to put some advice and BeyondBlue and all that kind of stuff down in our show notes. So check those out if you need any help.
We just thought it was useful to put a disclaimer in this. We're not experts, we're just talking about our own personal experiences. When we're talking about serious topics, I guess it's important to understand.
Yeah, and we'll have real sort of helpful information that you can check out if you need it down below.
Yo, what's up? We're back on the podcast.
You suck. Hello, friends. We're here for another chill recording. I don't know what this is called. We are here with our own personal problems to give you.
Yeah, it's just me and Em today on the podcast. We've got a few problems to solve. We might not get anywhere with it, but we're just going to have a chat about it. And maybe you can relate to some of them, or you have some ideas for us. And if you do, please reach out.
Yeah, comment / DM us and send us whatever problems you need us to help you solve, or problems you want talked about, or problems that you see in us. Is that a thing? I don't know.
I guess... Well, one of the first problems that I can think of right now is that we don't we haven't released any of these yet. And this may be like the fourth podcast.
This is the third podcast we've recorded.
Right, so this is the third podcast we're recording, but we haven't released anything at this point. So we still are working on all of the admin stuff, like having an Instagram page and places for you to contact us. So we can't just be like, yo, hit us up on the Instagram.
So we'd love to answer your questions in this episode, but we haven't released anything yet. So we don't have anybody sending us any questions yet.
Yeah, and I guess that gets us onto the topic too of, what are the problems we've kind of encountered with doing this whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is it? So and especially after doing a few of them, what are some of the things you've noticed, or are you nervous to release them?
I'm really excited, to be honest. I'm nervous about us getting our shit together enough to keep on top of it and keep a weekly upload. That's where I'm nervous, but I'm really excited to get it out there. I can't wait to have an audience. I think that'll be really exciting and will actually really help us.
Yeah, I hope that we do have an audience. I feel like I would listen to this, so hopefully that's enough.
Yeah, I'm nervous that maybe people won't listen to it. I feel like I'll get a little bummed if people don't listen, but at the end of the day, I've already had a lot out of it. Even just talking to Annie last week, it was really special to me to be able to do that, and something we wouldn't normally do just because. So it was really awesome, I think, for me to, I already appreciate that element of it. Also, just I've seen you more. I think I've seen you every single week in the last 6 weeks, which is
it's been very nice.
Yeah, it's not normal.
Thank you so much for a compliment. I appreciate it.
I mean, we don't hang out that all the time. It's nice.
No, I've been enjoying it. It's been pretty cool. And yeah, it's a good excuse to do stuff afterwards and beforehand too.
Yeah.
I'm currently...
we just had drinks. I don't know. We've had a very busy day of
Yeah, I'm drinking right now.
No, I wasn't scared to say that. I was just should I be we just had a friend over? Should I say it was Will? I just was it's a very new experience trying to... Yeah, it's weird to think that people will listen to my life,
Yeah, there's a line to balance too. I don't know how much I want to share all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm going to be what if I accidentally get too personal? And then I'm like, oh my God, now people know that. And the thing about it is I feel and the older I get, the worse this kind of anxiety gets for me, is I can't untell someone something.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone else ever struggles with that, but
I'm a classic oversharer. So I struggle with that all the time.
Yeah, I figure, the things that I tell people, I want to tell people everything always so that no one can ever like, there can never be rumors kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like I want to share fully, but anything that I don't share is completely mine.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And so I don't want to, it's weird.
Whereas I feel like there's a lot of stuff that I don't share. Like there's a lot of stuff that only Mum and Will, my boyfriend, know. And like, I'm happy to keep that little, like, I've got a lot of stuff going on in the moment that I'm like struggling with, but I'm not ready to talk about. And those two are the only people who actually know anything about what's going on. And so I feel like I kind of share, I don't have much that I keep completely to myself. I actually probably don't have a single thing that I keep completely to myself because I'm very much a communication-based person. Like, as soon as, like, whenever people, like, talk to me about, like, their love life or they're like, oh, I like this person, but I don't really know what to do about it. I'm like, I told Will as soon as I knew that I liked him. He rejected me and we didn't get together for an entire year after that. Like, I'm just like, as soon as I feel something, I want to share it.
And you have now been dating him for a long time.
Yeah, we've just passed 3.5 years.
Yeah.
So, like, it was worth it. It sucked for a whole long time, but no, it was worth it. But I just, like, I'm a sharer. As soon as I feel something, I want to share it. So I'm not good at keeping stuff to myself, and I think that'll be a challenge for me.
I've been trying to do that more, like not feeling bad about sharing good news, for example. I don't know what it is about like getting some good news. I don't know. I had a chat with my boss this week and like he shared good news to me. There was bad news throughout this week as well. I don't need to get into, but like there was good news in that like he shared, you know, like anyway, it was a good conversation. Yeah, basically. See, it was hard for me even to say that just now.
You are doing good and your boss is impressed with you.
Yeah. And I was like, I wanted to share that, but then I was like, no, I don't want to, like my immediate like reaction was like, no, I can't tell you.
Is that because
that's super like
there was bad stuff or just because you're not good at sharing?
No, not. And I don't think it was either. I think it was more that it was like, I don't want people to think that I'm like I want to be humble kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or it's not that I want to be humble, it's that I don't want to be...
I'm literally
I don't want to brag.
like... Yeah.
But I think that's not bragging. Like, that's like...
No.
That I had something good happen to me. I should want to share this with people. But I didn't tell anyone other than, like, my mum. I was like... And my dad. I was like, this is... You guys, this happened to me this week. I was really proud of it. And they're like, oh...
That's great. Also, this is the first time hearing about it. So, congratulations. You're great.
Yeah. But that actually... This whole conversation has reminded me of... Do you think, so like social media, for example, in terms of sharing, I don't think I've posted a photo on Instagram in 3 years.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if this is like, I feel like this is more of a guy thing too. Like,
yeah, I'm currently in control of 3 different Instagram accounts, so I don't relate to you.
Post all the time? And...
I mean, between the 3 of them, I probably post every single day. But, like, one is for church, one is now my dog, and one is me. And it's not, like, it's... the other 2 get more attention than my personal account. But I do post often. I like posting in that I know... I don't know if this is vain or not. I can't decide, but I really like scrolling through my account and, like, looking at all the pictures that I've posted.
Yeah, it's like a photo book.
Yeah.
Right? Is that what they were called?
Oh, my God. We're so young. An album, a scrapbook.
An album, a photo album.
Yeah. People make photo books, that's a thing.
I feel like Instagram's like a real photo album, but you share it with
everyone.
Like, I don't know, for me, I don't want to share... I think I have a camera roll, but now that is tainted with just, I reckon 1 in 20 is not a meme. Like, my camera roll is...
Whereas mine is like 80% pictures of my dogs. Yours is 80% memes.
It's probably higher than 80%, to be perfectly honest with you. But yeah, so I don't know, like, in terms of, like, sharing... And, yeah, I would love to hear from people from this. Like, when we get an Instagram account, it will be linked in the bio.
I'm going to make an Instagram account tonight and start promoing because we're releasing... soon. I don't need to tell you podcasters when we're... Yeah, it's already out when you're listening to this, but... For us now, we're releasing in like 2 weeks' time. Yeah,
but we would love to hear from you about... I would love to hear from you about whether you think it's a male-female thing, because, I mean, I barely go on Instagram anymore. I'm mostly on like a lot of like the anonymous... So not anonymous, but like, you know, like Twitter and Reddit and...
I don't know that it's a male-female thing, but I do think... I don't know.
So it's not that I'm off
social media. A lot of males in my life don't enjoy posting, whereas a lot of females do. But there's also...
Why do you think that is?
But there's also so many male, like, vloggers and Instagrammers. Like, I don't think it's a male-female thing. I think it's just a personality trait. I don't know.
But I still think... I think the majority of, like, dudes post less. Because do you think it's a validation thing? Like, it's kind of like that similar thing, and this is all so generalized, and I don't even know if this is problematic, but I'm just sharing kind of my view of like my perspective of. But I guess it's like when a guy gets complimented. Like if I get complimented, I'll remember that for 3 years because like we get.
I still will too,
less.
though. I remember the last time I got a compliment was last weekend. I was wearing, I don't even know what I was wearing. I don't know what it was, but I got 3 compliments on the exact same thing and I was so happy. I was just like walking around the shops and I have never had that many compliments ever. Like I remember them like completely, but maybe it's just like, I don't know. I feel like people I don't know. I feel like I try harder on Instagram because there's always that chance that like it might be successful and maybe it'll help me make money or something like that. I don't know. But maybe that's just me thing. Yeah.
But it's also like a photo album.
Yeah, I love looking back, but I don't post things.
Really like late stage capitalism, right? Can you imagine?
I mean, I don't post to try to make money.
My mum, like, way back in the day before the internet, like, saving, like, photos in her photo album, like, meticulously putting them away and being like, hope this makes money one day, better be careful with this one. Like,
I don't post to try to make money, but, like, no, I do put a little bit of effort into my feed.
Yeah, you're kind of thinking about,
I mean, even now, my thought is, like, you know, if this is public and people want to try to, like, look at our lives, they're going to come to our Instagram pages. Right. And, you know, I want to make sure that my feed or the things that I post actually reflect me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, in case, I don't know, people look at it and I'm conscious of the fact that people look at it and I don't know.
You know what the nail in the coffin for Instagram was for me? It was when it went non-chronological.
Yeah, the
so
algorithm.
Now, if I have a break for a week and then I'm scrolling through and I like a photo, just like instinctively double tap something. What if it was from like 2 weeks ago and then I'm a massive stalker?
Your mum's a classic at that. She always likes all my past pictures.
She goes on Instagram once a month just to see what.
Yeah.
Like she's so, bless her heart. That's.
It's the best. It's so, I know why.
It's exactly like a photo album. Yeah. That's the way it's treated. Yeah.
I don't know. Instagram is weird.
Yeah. Do you use any other social media?
I have Facebook still. Mostly I just use that.
Everyone has one.
Yeah.
I don't think you can
I did use it up until... Honestly, I used Facebook. I would check it every day up until the start of the COVID pandemic. Yeah. And then I just got so overwhelmed and saturated with, like, shitty media articles. And I just got overwhelmed with people posting their thoughts and opinions that were wrong that I deleted Facebook from my phone for ages. And I just, like, stopped checking it. And I re-downloaded it only because it was such a bitch to try and log in on, like, Safari. But it's, like, on my second page of apps. And I only check it, like, once a week because people tag me in memes and I always feel bad for leaving them for so long. And for, like, getting invited to things. But that's it.
Yeah. Well, now my excuse is I literally don't open the app. So and people expect that of me now, which I don't like. Because people no longer even bother tagging me.
He gets invited to things and I have to message him the day before being like, just so you know this is happening and you got invited. You just didn't check it.
This happened to me. You remember you told me about my best friend's surprise party.
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
But you had accepted the event. You just forgot. You had actually accepted the event, but I had to message him the day before being like, this is happening. Don't know if you remember. Yeah. Like, you saw it on Facebook, but it's on Facebook and you have to go. I
was like, oh, cool. Yeah, no, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, and what I found recently, I think, like, every single one, so with not the personal social, I would call, like, Snapchat, Facebook, and Instagram, they're all, like, personal social medias because your network is your friend group. But I would say things like Twitter and Reddit and a few others are more anonymous, air quotes.
Yeah, I don't have any of those.
They're the more anonymous ones because all of those ones, you get... Even like TikTok, I would say, is more anonymous. It depends on who you are with TikTok, though. You could probably have a bunch of friends and communicate with
If you post, I think it becomes less anonymous, but if you're just scrolling and liking, I think it's an anonymous kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, either way, I think those anonymous ones, the way that they get you with, like, your head, the reason you get that mad hit of dopamine from those ones is that I think I've figured out every single post in some way or another has an element of self-righteousness. It's like that. It's that outrage and the self-righteous. Like, either way, there's a side and there's a very obviously right side to each post. And you go, how the heck could that person think that? And it's like, you're rising above kind of thing. And it's like, and it's so toxic.
Yeah, whereas I have no interest in that. Like, I just want to like people's pictures, you know?
Don't get me wrong, it's not all that. I think like most of this stuff has like a 50-50 weight, or 50% of it is really great what it can do. 50% of it is like absolute trash.
I mean, on any social media, there's always so much room for it to be toxic and go into the cyberbullying abuse kind of zone. If you listen to this, please don't do that to us. Did not sign up for that, but yeah.
Yeah, we kind of are signing up for it.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, no one signs up to be cyberbullied, but whatever.
No, I know. Yeah. I think at this point...
We're going into the public sphere. I get it, but don't do that to us.
I'm really sensitive. Please stop. I really can't handle it.
We were going to talk about our weeks.
True.
I haven't had a very interesting week at all. I started winter term on Monday. I had an entire weekend break from semester 1 to winter term, which was pretty boring. I don't even know what I did with it. Did I see you? Probably. Embarrassing. Yeah. Super boring. Oh my God. Oh no, that was fun.
Did you have, so you said you had 2 days off in between your 2 semesters.
Yeah, I had semester 1 ended on the Friday. I had Saturday, Sunday, and then I started winter term on Monday this week. So it's not too full on of a course. It's like get the course done in 4 weeks.
Yeah, but the point is you didn't have any...
Yeah. But I signed myself up for that. As much as it sucks and I wish I had more break, the end goal is to graduate early. So that's what we're doing. And I think I have 2 weeks off before semester 2 starts. We probably might move house if we find one. So that might not be as fun as I hope it is. But anyway.
Yeah. Do you have any other problems to bring to the podcast this week? Or I think I had a problem.
I have lots of health issues, but yeah, like I said, I'm not quite ready to talk about those things yet.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess, I don't know that mine borders on... You could call mine health. I don't know. I brought up a problem this week. I've had this for a long time. I've been, like, I've Googled this and I've done every single thing that's ever been suggested for this. So sleep patterns and things like that. I am terrible with getting a decent amount of sleep. Like, going to bed, and I've tried everything. Like, whatever happens in the morning, I never want to get out of bed. I always just want an extra, 24 hours of sleep.
My question is, when I get really low iron, it doesn't matter how much I do or do not want to get out of bed. It's like I cannot. Is it like that, or is it just like, I don't want to get out of bed?
I want to say it's like a 50-50. Because, sometimes I'm so ridiculously tired.
I mean, have you seen your doctor? Get your iron checked. It's just a blood test. It's not very hard. I would recommend that.
Maybe I should do that. Because I was going to say, right, I literally just said that I've tried everything. I guess I have not.
You haven't tried everything.
Up to that point.
Have you tried, sleeping tablets and stuff? Like the natural stuff? I take
melatonin?
No, I take valerian, which is like a natural kind of relaxant.
Isn't that like a Thor thing? That's like a steel in Game
No, not Valerian steel. Valerian.
Okay.
It's like you can get Swiss whatever sleeping kind of things. They're just supposed to just relax you and de-stress you before you go to sleep. I find they help a bit. I have a very strict I use my diffuser and have lavender oil. I take 2 valerian tablets and I drink chamomile tea, and then I kind of get to sleep.
See, the things I've tried. So I changed my lifestyle completely.
Oh yeah, you went big, I went small.
Yeah, but see, that all that stuff is stuff that I didn't actually try. I exercise every day now. I have started reading again, which by the way was really difficult. I haven't read in a long time.
We need to come back to this.
Yeah, I dropped out of uni how long ago?
5-6 years, didn't we say?
Oh, it's been a while since I've had to be educated in a formal kind of setting. So reading, after scrolling for years, reading was I had to relearn the skill. It was really hard, but I've now read a whole book and I'm almost finished another book.
Yay!
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like much, but that is really impressive.
No, it feels like a huge achievement to me. But yeah, so I've started reading instead of being my book before bed, because the ideal apparently is 2 hours before bed. You don't want to look at your screen. This is just stuff I've read online and stuff. I'm not an expert on it.
2 hours before bed. You've read that. Yep.
Yeah, dimming the lights and everything, even in your house, because up until when, not even a century ago, we've had no
Oh my
artificial
God.
light.
On this, every time we get a blackout at my house, I'm in bed by like 9 o'clock ready to go to bed because there's like nothing to do except go to sleep.
Literally.
But then like when there is electricity, which like we get a blackout like once a month, let me just say that.
Yeah,
we
had so many blackouts this year as well.
Yeah. When there is electricity, I will like stay up till 1 a.m. because there's stuff to do. But it's just like as soon as there's no TV, I just go straight to sleep.
Yeah, so there's no... What I did when we had blackouts recently is I was playing my Switch.
Yeah, okay, cool.
And the Switch, so I was like playing that. And I was like, man, you can't do anything.
Yeah.
Like it was... I boiled water on the stove because we had gas then.
We can't, all we can use is a barbecue.
Have a cup of tea.
Yeah, no. If we once got out the camping stove.
I was going to say.
Yeah, because I was desperate for tea. But then as I was boiling it on the camping stove, the electricity came back on.
Thank God. So yeah, I've tried turning off the lights. I've tried, this sounds like absolutely nothing. No, I exercise every single day. I turn off the lights 2 hours before I start reading instead of using a screen 2 hours before bed.
I'd say if it's still not working, like you got to go check for some deficiencies. No, for real. Like iron deficiencies affects people in really different ways, and it depends on like how much, like how deficient you are. But whenever I get it really, there's no rhyme or reason to why I get iron deficient, and sometimes I'm fine and sometimes I'm not, and I literally, like, majority of the time I'm fine, especially now that I'm, like, better at handling it, but every now and then I'll just get waves of, like... Okay, also, little disclaimer, I'm very in touch with my body because I have hypoglycemia, so I get low blood sugar, so I'm very good at telling when something is off in my body because that's the only way I can manage my blood sugar is to just feel it. So I can kind of tell, like, if I'm extra tired or extra, like... generally exhausted, I'm like, ooh, I think my iron's low, and I'll go and get it checked, and it usually is. And sometimes I don't even go get checked, I just start fixing it. But because I have leftover tablets and stuff. But I would say if you're like generally exhausted and like you actually cannot get up, like
I think my energy levels are actually fine. I think what the problem is, like, I'll go to bed and I just won't get to sleep. Like, I struggle getting to sleep, and therefore...
Maybe it's an insomnia kind of thing instead.
Oh, God, I hope
Still
not.
Go to the doctor.
But you know why I'm scared to, like, go to the doctor or, like, a therapist or something? Then it becomes a real problem that I have to deal with.
Yeah, but it's already a problem that you're dealing with. It's the start of getting help.
Yeah, well...
Have you ever been to a psychologist?
Mm-mm.
Genuinely, such a weird experience. Like, a good experience, though.
I feel like, like, how can it...
I started going... So both of my grandfathers died within 6 months of each other. One was kind of expected, one was very much expected, but like they were both kind of very difficult to deal with. And so I went about 6 months after the second one passed away, because I was like struggling to deal with it all. But I got there and I tried to tell her what my issue was, and she's like, okay, tell me about this friend that you've mentioned once. And I'm like, what? And then all of our sessions became about this friend because the reason I couldn't, like, deal with my grief was randomly tied to this specific friend that I lost around the same time. And, like, it changed my world. Also, like, just helped. I was leading up to going away for 3 months, and I could not have got through those 3 months without seeing the psychologist because I was, like, manifesting stress in such crazy ways. My jaw locked for about 2 months. I couldn't open it enough to put a burger in. Like, I literally couldn't open my mouth because I was so stressed. I was, like, clenching like crazy, and, like, I had all these random issues that, like, I would go to my doctor and they'd be like, dude, you're just stressed. You need to just chill. So then I'd go back to my psychologist and be like, this other thing happened. And she'd be like, oh my God, okay. And yeah, it was, but it's honestly like going... You know the endorphins you feel after you exercise?
Yeah. Imagine
that in your brain instead. I don't know how to explain it, but it's literally like, it's like a cleanse, but you're tired. Like, you feel a bit emotionally exhausted after it, which is, you know, it's kind of hard, but literally cleansed. Like, it's such an awesome experience. I think everyone should do it at least once in their life.
Yeah, probably, yeah. It's probably a good recommendation for me personally.
Yeah.
At this point. Yeah.
And, little just thing, if people don't know it, you can go to your doctor and get a mental health plan, which, like, reduces the cost of going.
Is this an Australia thing?
Yeah, in Australia, I did this. Yeah. You can go to your doctor, explain the situation, and they'll give you a mental health plan, which will then I think it will help you. I don't know about insurance and stuff, but I think you get money back for it. I think it helps you with your like Medicare claim or whatever.
Yeah, I went to a doctor.
I'm getting that wrong, but I'm just...
Yeah, there are options.
There are options. Go to your doctor.
I went to a doctor earlier this year, and you remember this because it was straight after reunion. I went to a doctor, and I was not in a good place mentally at this point for a few reasons. But the point was, like, I ended up in hospital after seeing this doctor, but for health altercations, which I won't go into. But before that, I explained to him, like, what was happening, my symptoms and stuff, and he was like, you know what you should do? You need to take this this anti-anxiety, this anti-depression medication, all this kind of meds, and like you probably have bipolar. Like you just need meds. And I was like, what? Like,
you had a very legitimate health issue as well. Like
no. I was there for like health reasons, and he was like, oh, why? What do you think brought this on? And I explained to him. Okay, so the week leading up, Emily and I were running a talk show in front of hundreds of people.
Yeah.
And so I was sleeping about 4 hours a night for a full 7 days.
It was at a camp. It was very intense.
It was in the middle of the Australian summer, the summer we just had with all the bushfires.
Yeah, there was literally a bushfire like a kilometre away.
There was a lot of stress.
We were constantly like, well, the lake is right there. If we need to go, we'll just go camp out on the lake for a night if we have to.
There were obviously already becoming plans to get our stuff into eskies and go and sit in the lake.
Yeah.
If we needed
to evacuate. So it was a stressful time.
I forgot about how serious that was.
Yeah. No, because the road was closed when my brother tried to leave the camp. It was closed because there was a bushfire over the road.
About all this. We've already been through an entire global pandemic since then.
Yeah, we're coming, as soon as the pandemic ends, we'll come back into bushfire season. Love that for us.
Oh my goodness.
Can we just not with global warming? Thanks. Warning?
Yeah. Oh,
anyway, the doctor said...
Yeah, the doctor said, yo, you should just take all these pills, and immediately I switched off. I was like, I try to do everything before I get on meds for things. Like, I think, because ultimately I want to believe, like, I'm in control, I guess. Like, even if I know that there are definitely reasons why you should absolutely go there can be chemical imbalances and whatnot. And I know I'm not discrediting that, but I think I want to try everything first. Yeah. And I sat down, he'd never met me before, and he was like, get all these pills, man. I was like, are you incentivized? Like, knowing
what was wrong with you, that is very, like, it was very legitimate physical health thing. Like, it maybe had something to do with your mental health, but really wasn't. That's not why you were there.
I think from that, I understood that mental and physical health are intertwined a lot more than I think I thought before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. Maybe I should. I've been thinking about doing like some kind of stuff. It's scary. I don't want someone to see into my head.
Yeah, but that's not like. But they only know what you tell them. Like yes, they are psychologists and they're like, trained in trying to read you a little bit. But
ultimately though, like you're like to get the most out of that experience, you want to be really vulnerable, right?
Yeah.
And I know that's dumb that I'm scared of that.
But you could go 10 times and that's it.
Yeah.
Like that will help you. I think I got a mental health plan to go 10 times. I thought for sure I'll use all of them. And I think I had 6 and then I went away for 3 months and I just didn't need it when I came back. Yeah, I never used them all.
I know people who have, like, I think my sister once went and she had 1 session and the person was like, what's up here. Like, you're perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But she said that 1 session, though, was just really helpful.
I think, I definitely think it's worthwhile. It's not something that needs to be feared. Like it's, and if you're going to a psychologist and you feel shit when you come out, like you, not just a bit emotionally exhausted, but you feel horrible about yourself or you feel like you haven't like achieved anything or feel any better, you're seeing the wrong psychologist. Like you need to try someone different because you shouldn't come out feeling like that.
That's what I was worried about too. And I think that's not a reason not to go, but I was like, I am scared. Like, I think I'm cynical and skeptical in all the wrong ways sometimes. Yeah. But yeah, I think this is one of those examples where I was just like, I don't have any faith. I was like, if I can't fix it, why would they be able,
Yeah, but
that's so dumb. But
I mean, they just like, they notice the fact that I'm talking about my grandparents. I'm here to say, I'm grieving and like, I just can't move past this grief.
Yeah.
And she's noticing that every time I retell her the story, I'm mentioning this one person. Yeah. And she's like, why? And then, she can identify that's, then she'll go, oh, what happened here?
As well, right?
Yeah. Like, it's exactly, it's someone who is literally paid to listen to you.
Yeah.
Like that's their entire job is to listen to you and support you.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's definitely worth
Have you seen
doing.
like the Netflix show Afterlife with Ricky Gervais?
And Harry Potter?
What?
No, we're thinking of different things.
No, there's a show and there's just a therapist in it and he's terrible.
What's the one with Daniel Radcliffe and old mate looks like he smokes meth? Smokes meth? Do you smoke meth? I don't know.
What?
It's on Stan.
I thought you were asking me. No, sorry.
No, I am asking you.
No, I do not smoke meth.
No, the guy who looks like he smokes meth. I'm going to look it up. Miracle Workers? But the season 1. What's the season 1 called? It's called Miracle Workers.
So what is it about it?
Well,
Is there a therapist in it?
Well, I just thought you were talking about that show. It's not relevant. I just
Oh,
thought
you know
that's the
Ricky
show you were
Gervais?
talking about. No, yeah, I know him, but we were just thinking of different shows.
Okay.
That's the whole point. We don't need to go into the show. It's not relevant at all.
Okay.
I just thought that's the show you were talking
No,
about.
anyway. Sidetracked, but that show has a therapist in it and he's completely egotistical and
Yeah.
terrible. And
Makes a good character. A
Yeah,
lot of
he's a
people
good
write characters
Yeah, exactly. And I was
from,
like,
yeah.
but I can't believe that the people stay in therapy with that guy. I was like, what? That's not therapy. Like, anyway, completely irrelevant.
But yeah,
So
worth doing.
There's some problems we've just talked through.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big thing of your 20s is like dealing with mental health issues, right? Like,
I feel like it is
and
now.
it's not being talked about really.
More than ever. Now more than ever.
Yeah, but it's not being dealt with. It's just being talked about now more than ever. But people have experienced it forever.
Do you think? I think it's worse now due to a whole range of different social and cultural reasons.
You can't tell me that I'm not being aggressive or anything, but like, I don't think it is because my anxiety, whilst, yeah, maybe it's inflamed by social media, you looking at me right now, you can't say that I would not have anxiety if I didn't have a phone. You know what I mean? Like,
No. I'm not talking about social media. I'm talking about like culturally where we're at as a society.
yeah, but I think that's the point is like it's being talked about. People have identified it. People can see it and speak about it.
I agree with you that is a contributor to why it would be higher now, but I also think that it is strange now due to things like extreme wealth inequality and more things like that.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by cultural and societal reasons.
Yeah.
I think that those reasons are also exacerbating it due to the fact that we're kind of late stage capitalism. Everything costs money. There's so many more stresses in society now than there were, for example, 50 years ago. So I think it's both. I think both exacerbate it.
Yeah.
Point is, it's good that we're talking about it, I think.
Yeah. It's so weird.
Yeah.
I'm like just thinking about like I don't know, whenever I get conscious about the fact that I'm stressed or anxious, I'm like, what? Like literally right now, I'm clenching my teeth.
Yeah,
Why am I doing that? I am not stressed. There is nothing in my life. Like I have an assignment due Wednesday, but I have plenty of time to do it. Like what right now is causing me to clench my teeth? I just don't.
I think the thing is, it's so irrational.
Yeah.
But the more I try to rationalize it when I'm in that state, the worse it gets.
Yeah.
I swear. And it's like this loop, this cycle, and I can't get out of it. I feel like, I don't know what the trick is, but I think at this point, and maybe a therapist would be a great guide through this, but like, as a completely untrained person talking about it, I think sometimes I just got to ride the wave. Just got to like let it happen, realize that it's there, and then wait till it's over. Sometimes though, it's hard because it can be days.
Yeah. I was reading this book that I never finished, so I'm like not sure that I can like talk about it, but I'm going to do it anyway. It's called The Power of Now. And basically it was talking about how like, honestly, it might be, I don't know if I'm even quoting this right, but like it was kind of saying how like, yeah, you have to recognize the emotion is there and then kind of like just put it off to the side, put it in a little box, you can keep feeling it, but just like you are not that emotion and it can't control you.
Yeah.
It didn't help me very much.
I'm
going to be honest. And I did not finish the book. So
I've heard so many people talking about that with like, I heard, for example, Bill Hader, like he's a notoriously anxious person. Like he was on SNL, Saturday Night Live in the United States for years. And he was talking about how he used to have like panic attacks like before going out. Like, and he was on the show for years and years and that never kind of went away for him. But like, is there a fire?
Yeah, Kellyville. We're good.
Okay. Like it's what, May? Yeah, I just got that notification as well.
It's probably backburning that just got out of control.
Wow.
It's windy, right? Anyway, continue.
Yeah, so there's a fire. Anyway. Bill Hader was talking about it and he was like, and he had that exact perspective and he was talking about it, not that it was a breakthrough for him, but it really helped him through it. I didn't have that experience.
I also didn't have that experience when I read the sort of book. Not that I finished it. I'm going to say that again because I can't be an expert on it. But I also, the subject that I'm doing right now at uni is, it's all about virtues in film. And the film, we were talking about humility on Friday, which I found really interesting. Humility is a really interesting virtue in that, like, to have humility, you kind of can't recognize that you have humility.
Exactly.
Because, like, that in itself is like, oh, it's a really paradoxical thing.
You don't have it.
Yeah, basically. I mean, you can still, but it's just really, like, it's a really paradoxical kind of thing. But the one thing that I read about sort of what the virtue is about is that, like, not only is about, like, sort of underestimating your own achievements and worth and, like, not thinking you're particularly high in anything, but also you just can't be focused on yourself. You just can't be, like, it's not all about you. And that, like, I don't know if I just interpreted it the way that I kind of needed to, but I kind of read that as, like, every time I'm up in my head, I just need to remember that, like, it genuinely is not about me. Like, no one else cares about me. We can just put it aside. Like, it's fine.
That's something that helped me as well. I would say not even 10% of the time. The times that I do remember that, and I start to try and externalize as much as I can. I'm like, what happened in mum's day today? Like, what happened in this person's day? I try to think about other people other than myself.
But then I get anxious about the fact that I haven't asked them. Like, I tried to do it and I just got a bit more overwhelmed because I'm like, God, I'm the worst. I didn't even ask them about their day. Like, yeah.
No, but for sure. Like, and that's the thing about as well dealing with. Oh man, this is getting like far, but like dealing with things like depression and anxiety and stuff. I feel like the reason that I've hated. I wouldn't say that I have like depression on a scale that anyone else has dealt with before, but I've dealt with it, and I have not been diagnosed either, so I can't even say that I'm... Point is, with depression, I feel like when I have dealt with it, this is a very personal experience, but I felt like it was very selfish, and I hated that aspect of it, because it's very, I feel like this, why don't I, like it's very me kind of centric, and I hate feeling that way, because I'm like, it's such bullshit, because it feels like, the world doesn't revolve around me, like, and again, I try to rationalize it. I'm like, no, this is dumb. Like, it's not about me. Nothing's about me. But, like, it keeps, like, pulling you back down into that kind of, you know what I mean? I haven't personally, I haven't really dealt with depression much. I'm much more of an anxiety kind of gal. They go hand in hand. So
yeah, they do.
You don't have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've just touched on, I guess... a bit more than we bargained for today. Like, we kind of got into some, like, mental health, like, therapy kind of topics, this is exactly what I was talking about when, in the original, we were talking about, are we scared to release this stuff?
Yeah.
Because, like, this is, I don't know.
And just let me say that, like, we plan to have an actual expert in to talk about mental health. Like, we are not professionals. We don't have enough experience or anything. Do not take anything we say as, like, actual advice. If you're suffering mental health issues, go see a doctor, see a therapist, see a psychologist.
Yeah, you should.
Don't just listen to our podcast. That's not enough. We have nothing valuable to give you.
No, but
we do plan. I think it'll be really valuable to have.
But talking about our own
guest in that is actually knowledgeable about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I think like we can still just talk about our own personal experiences.
But that's all we're doing. We're just talking about our own experiences, and definitely don't take that as gospel or anything like that. But I think I reached out to a couple of my friends before we started the podcast, and one of them suggested that we talk about mental health in a very educated kind of fashion.
Yeah, well I'm really excited to do that now after having this conversation. I think that'll be really cool. But I'm excited as well for next week.
Yes, next week we have a very awesome guest on.
I don't know if we should release any information until we're in it. It's a surprise.
That's all. Thank you and good night. If you enjoyed today's episode of Sam and Em Solve the World's Problems, please subscribe, give us a great review, and follow us on Instagram at Sam and Em Have Problems, and you can support us on Patreon via the link in the show notes.
The music is by The Vinyl Press, and you can check them out on all the good streaming apps or find them on Instagram at The Vinyl Press.
Also, send us your problems. We'd love to help.